All right, meeting and talking to women, if you don't want to date online, take 0. All right, so from the video I did yesterday, I was going through the messages I got, and a couple of different guys asked me the same question, which was, if I don't want to date online, I dated online, it fucking sucks, it's a grind, whatever. You know, what are your recommendations for meeting and dating women? Because it seems like I get rejected all the time. I've mentioned some of this stuff in the past, so let me just kind of lay it out. You're a guy, we're having a conversation, and you're like, hey man, I'm struggling dating. Understand a couple of things. As a guy, being physically attractive gets you in the door, all right? Your personality and who you are as a person, not who you are just in your heart, but who you are in the world gets you the rest of the way, okay? So your values and who you are in the world is what gets you the rest of the way. Values, personality, all right? So let's say one guy asked me, he said, in the gym, how do I have a conversation with an attractive woman in the gym? Let me use that example, okay? Number one, my general rule is don't talk to women in the gym unless they come talk to you, or unless they make it very obvious to you they want you to come talk to them. Okay, Walker, how is it very obvious? It's really simple. Men, when a woman is attracted to you, that is, there's something about you. Maybe you're not the biggest stud in the world, but there's just something about you that makes her want to look at you. She is going to send you very specific signals. You're just ignoring them, right? Number one, she's going to make eye contact with you more than once, okay? I assure you that if a woman makes eye contact with you 3 times, all right, 3 times in a let's say we're in the gym and a woman makes eye contact with you 3 times, it is likely she is telling you to come talk to her, okay? 95% of the time, she finds you attractive and she hopes you're going to come talk to her. She's not going to look at you more than 3 times unless she's weird, okay? The other reason why she might be making eye contact with you is you could have something in your teeth. You could have whatever. You may have, you could have, mayonnaise on the side of your mouth. But just check, make sure you got nothing there, and then assume she wants you to come talk to her. So what should you do to go talk to her? Believe it or not, I'm going to give you advice my father gave me, which is use the pickup line no one ever uses, just be yourself. So walk up to her with the mindset, I want to find out if I like her. I see it. She sees that, she wants me to come talk to her. I find her physically attractive. I'm going to go have a conversation with him. And your mentality needs to be, all right, I'm going to go talk to her, and I'm going to see if she likes me. Or I'm going to see if I like her. I want to see what I feel. Okay? So, hey, I'm Walker. Hey, what's up? How's it going? I'm Walker. And reach out and shake her hand. Okay? And then just ask her, what's your name? Yeah. Now, you have 2 options. You could not ask her for her name and see if she gives it to you. If she gives it to you, she wants to get to know you. Or you could ask her to take more control of the situation. And then from there, your mindset should be, hey, in the next 90 seconds, I'm going to try and learn just one thing about her. Okay? And if that means you got to have pre-prepared questions, go right ahead. You know what I mean? If it's in the gym, I'm probably going to ask her, so what are you training for? Are you train for physique, train for health, train for strength? What's your flavor? And then just see where the conversation goes. Get it over with in 90 seconds or whatever. Say, hey, I'm going to get back to my workout and go do it. If she wants, you've engaged, she's had a chance she's had a chance to do something more than just see you. And you've had a chance to break down that outer layer. You got to understand, as a woman, especially attractive women, and I'm talking even moderately attractive women. Women get inundated all day long. Remember, 80% of the men out there are really struggling to date. Okay? And they're desperate. And they're smashing girls up in their DMs all the time, and women are just getting inundated. And most of that is just guys, some guys are legitimately, they're struggling out there. You know what I mean? And a woman, if she makes eye contact with you one time, it could be an accident. Believe me, she's not going to make that mistake a second time if she doesn't want you to come talk to her. Because enough times in her life, she has accidentally made eye contact with somebody twice, and the wrong person came up and talked to her, and then she had to deal with that. That's why you'll notice women walk around with their head down. It's not because women are bitches or whatever. It's because what they experience on a day-to-day basis is different than most men experience on a day-to-day basis. Okay? But that doesn't mean that they're not paying attention to who's in the room. So the general rule, if they make eye contact 3 times, go ahead and walk up. Otherwise, don't go engage. Don't go engage. Let it happen organically. Okay? If you don't want to waste your time with a girl who hasn't decided that you haven't passed her initial test. Don't wait. You don't want her to wait. She's not going to waste her time on you. You don't waste her time on her. All right. Here's the other one. So now, what if I'm out and I find a woman attractive in the grocery store or whatever? It's all about making sure she sends you some signal that she's okay with you interrupting her because she wants you to interrupt her. Okay? If you're not getting that signal, don't waste your time. Do not waste your time. All right? And not every guy's going to agree with me here, but most of the guys who are like giving this type of advice online, I've raised 3 very strong, successful sons. Okay? My father has raised 3 really strong, successful men. All right? None of us struggle in dating and never have. And my sons don't struggle in dating and never have. So there's a lot of guys out there. I see a lot of like dating advice accidentally. I think it's because my mic is listening to me and fucking social media shows me this shit. There's a lot of dudes out there talking, and everybody's got a right to do that. I'm not, I'm on the side of the guys here. So there's a lot of guys out there talking who necessarily don't have the results to justify them talking the way they do. All right. But the biggest thing, I want to answer the second question, which was, well, what if I'm getting no action whatsoever? Well, if you're getting no action whatsoever, if you're a dude who just can't seem to get a date, can't seem to get a girl to be interested in you, then you need to look inward. Again, every single fucking guy, every single guy, no exceptions. Ask yourself this question right now. Am I in the gym 4 days a week, at least? And if I'm not in the gym every 4 days a week, that's where you start. That is where you start. And if I haven't been in the gym for years, if I haven't been in, and again, the rule is if the gym is 10 minutes or further from your house, put the gym in your fucking house and train 4 days a week. And for the first 6 months, if you're not a person in the gym, for the first 6 months, only do what you love for at least 45 minutes a day, 4 days a week. For 6 months, once you've been doing that, you will naturally gravitate in a direction. Am I a guy who's going to train for strength? Am I a guy who's going to train for physique? Am I going to be a power builder? What is it? Am I just doing it for my health? Right? After 6 months, then you can start putting yourself through hell because you've fallen in love with it. You're in love with being in the gym. All right? After 6 months. Also, take inventory. Are you a guy, what does your network look like? Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Because that's who you are. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So ask yourself, am I, who is it I spend the most time with? Number 3, what is my purpose? Like my purpose in life, what is my mission? What is the thing, if somebody asks me, what am I all about? How am I going to answer? Right? Then ask yourself, What are you looking for in a partner? What is that woman looking for? The one you just described. What do you think she's looking for? And how do I meet that? Right? That if you're the guy who's not getting any dates at all, then that's your approach. And you may not like it. Maybe it takes you 4 fucking years. But hey, do the work. Do the work. You're not going to get it by complaining about it. You're going to get it by doing the work. All right? And let me say this about relationships real quick, about dating. And I really do not like shooting these videos. I was telling my kids last night, we watched back the video yesterday. I'm very uncomfortable. I'm doing this because people have asked the questions. I will share this kind of information privately, like on our powerlifting team. If a guy asks me, somebody in the gym asks me, whatever, or my kids, I'll answer these questions. The concept that I'm answering these publicly is very uncomfortable for me. But if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And there are some things I learned in the last couple of years that really surprised me, shocked me actually. When I was coming up, when I was younger, it didn't seem like people struggled to date the way they struggle now. And it didn't, I used to ask a question when I was younger. You would see like what I thought were two unattractive people together, married, kids. And I would be like, I wonder if they are actually attracted to each other or are they just settled? Like, is that literally the kind of guy she looks at and is like, and when I say attraction, I don't just mean physical attraction. I mean all the way around, right? If you're like a morbidly obese person, I'm talking 400 pounds plus of just blubber and you have trouble walking, that says something about who you are as a person. It doesn't just say you've got, it says something about who you are in terms of your level of discipline. And, a person who's that big is generally going to be someone who makes excuses. They come up with all the reasons, not to put the work in, right? I used to ask that question when I was younger. Today, I don't see them with anybody. Like, it's nuts, like how dating, those of you who are younger are asking me these questions, and some of the guys who have asked me these questions are younger, but I'm getting a lot of guys like in their late 30s, early 40s through their late 50s, and they're kind of jumping over from the industry 4 community, guys that have gone through divorces and stuff, asking me these questions. Or guys who've never been married asking me these questions. And dating has changed. It's changed. It's much more competitive. Now, that being said, you also have a much better chance of finding the person who's actually right for you. But you can't allow all the work you got to put in, meeting people. You can't allow the fact that you got to put all that work in to discourage you. It is, understand that dating initially, even if you're not dating online, is going to be a volume proposition. But I would say this, one guy asked me this question. Walker, you said guys are struggling. Why do you think they're struggling? That was what he asked me. And it's really 2 things, okay? Number 1, I want you to go and take a look at what the average male looked like in 1960 in the United States, okay? And then look at what the average male looks like today. We've attacked masculinity. Well, we haven't. The third wave feminism has, right? Woke culture. The worst thing you can be in our society is a middle-aged white masculine male, right? I hate to break the news to you. The middle-aged masculine male, man of purpose, is the guy that even the most blue-haired liberal women are matching with. Okay? Masculinity is not a bad word, but there's a lot less of it. And so the men who are not men, okay? It's my job to take the bullet. It's my job to pay the bill. It's my job to go check on that nasty noise. It's my job to solve the problem. Okay? It's my job to model strength, excellence, the standard. It's my job to stand on principle. Those men are still incredibly desirable in our society, but there are fewer of them. Believe you me, when I walk into a room, I used to make this joke all the time. You know, people would try to describe, believe you me, when I walk into a room, my dick has been there for 10 minutes already. Okay, now, do I think everyone needs to be that way? Of course not. But there's a huge, that part of that's my personality. I am a hardcore type A. I'm an 8 on the Enneagram scale. Those are just personality traits. But you can be a man who values masculinity and leans into it. And if you do, good things will come from it. If you're a young man who doesn't know how to load a sidearm, properly hold it, shoot from 15 yards or 15 feet, and be able to put 10 rounds in the center of a target at 15 feet, you probably need to go to the gun range. If you are a guy who doesn't know the difference between brown and green camouflage, you probably should spend a little more time doing outdoor things. You're not hanging out with masculine men. Now, does that mean if you're a gamer or whatever that you're a fucking dork loser? No, I play games. I play MLB The Show all the time. But I also know how to skin a whitetail deer. And I know where if I'm gonna shoot 10 squirrels, how much meat I'm gonna get out of 10 squirrels. Okay, I also know, which is the most useful end of a box wrench. Okay, that at the end of the day, the men are struggling because there are fewer men. There are fewer men. You got really, you guys are being lied to. You're being lied to about what it is women specifically value in a partner. What and based on women's behavior, they value strength, they value provision, they value stoicism, and they value a guy who is in touch with her feelings. Not your feelings, her feelings. Okay? They want a man who is going to lead. They are not looking for a douchebag. They are not looking for an asshole. They are not looking for someone who's going to abuse them and gaslight them. But they are looking for a strong man who is going to lead. And leading sometimes means saying no. Leading means sometimes soft next. When your girl asks you a stupid question, don't give a stupid answer. Change the subject. Okay? But why are guys struggling? It's because there are fewer guys. And if you don't want to struggle, focus on the traits that women find attractive. All right? Hopefully I answered all those questions there. If you're struggling, I'm going to tell one little quick story here. My youngest son, Hayden, is 17 years old. He's a really good-looking guy. Okay? All my sons are handsome guys. All my sons spend 4 or 5 days in the gym every single week. All of my kids are incredibly well-read. All of my sons are real men. Okay? My 2 oldest sons, 25 and 20, both of them believe they found their life partner. Josh is getting ready to get married. Do I approve of his partner? 1,000%. Literally 1,000%. When he said to me, hey, Dad, should I marry her? I said, well, you need to make that decision. And he said, I've already made that decision. But what do you think, Dad? Honestly. And I said, do you really want my answer? And he said, yes. And I said, I think you would be insane to not make her your life partner. I think you'd be insane. I think you would spend the rest of your life thinking, I let the right woman go. Also, I encourage men, and I'm a firm believer of this, the whole one-itis thing. I love how Rich Cooper talks about one-itis. This is probably a big thing young guys do. There's no one right person out there for you. There's probably a couple of them who are most right. Okay? You want to find one of them. The likelihood you're going to find a couple of them is pretty rare. But there's no just one person. Okay? But with my son Hayden, he's now just working on everything that I've just talked about here. My son Hayden's now just working on, approaching women who express interest in him. He's just now learning, going through the steps. And we had a chance, he and I did a post-workout meal. He sees this girl that he wants to go talk to. We go over to Barnes & Noble. He makes sure she makes eye contact with him at Barnes & Noble after we left the restaurant, and then he just walked right up to her and my son was learning how to do this. And what was amazing to me and something I hadn't really considered was the amount of confidence you get as a guy when you do have you overcome your apprehension and your fear about walking up to a girl who is clearly signaling to you, walking up to an attractive girl who is clearly signaling to you that she wants you to come talk to her, and you do it, and it goes well. The amount of confidence that comes from that. But what's really important is making sure you're picking the women who are signaling to you to come up and talk to you. Because let's say you're walking up to the wrong woman, the one who hasn't sent you that signal, and now it's just a shot in the fucking dark. You're just, you got a 5% chance she's going to vibe with you and a 95% chance she's going to tell you to fuck off with her eyes or her answers or her standoffishness. That's going to fuck with your head. What you want is early success. So in that early success phase, you need to make sure that they're sending you the signal to come talk to you. Come talk to them. And believe me, they are sending the signal. You just have to listen to it. A girl making eye contact with you one time is not enough. All right? A girl making eye contact with you twice could be enough. 3 times, she's absolutely telling you to come talk to her. Okay? So do it. All right? Keep it simple. 90 seconds, in and out. Take inventory how you feel. And your mindset needs to be, I need to go find out if I like her. All right, with that, like, subscribe, comment down below. Hopefully I answered your question. See you in the next one.